All right, y'all. We're just gonna do a quick breakdown of today's trade. This was on the Nasdaq. It was just a buy at 950 macro. It was a little bit earlier than that, but it was for that macro. So let's get into it. So first of all, has been on a bullish run as of late anyway. So everything that's bearish is pretty much just a pullback, right? It's counter trend. And if we're talking higher time frames, right, it's counter trend. So sometimes that counter trend trade is worth it if there's enough pips and if the risk is worth the reward. But if it's not worth the reward, then you're better off being patient and waiting on price to get to a good spot to where you can take more buys. So that's kind of what I did today. Let's just start on the higher time frames before we talk about the actual entry. So like I said, we've been on a bullish run, right? And we have these key levels that you see marked up. This old daily fair value gap that I marked up in August, right? Marked this up back then. Just kind of been waiting on to see if price is ever going to come back up there. Majority of people would think, I even thought this at first, that this would just melt all the way down here and we would just melt all of Q4. But then I realized that the seasonal tendencies for Nasdaq during Q4 is bullish. So we're getting this bullish run right now. And it looks like we're heading towards, well, at the time we were heading towards this buy side liquidity, this daily fair value gap, the green shaded area. And then we also have a daily volume imbalance right here with this yellow gap, right? And then up here, that is a monthly fair value gap, or a weekly, one of them. So all these higher time frame key levels are targets. Again, buy side liquidity here and here. So this, when it comes down to trading like this, we're predicting price because we're predicting that price is going to run to these areas. So let's talk about the entry now. So price was around here to start the day off. You know, it was already looking bullish. It didn't show that it wanted to pull back deep into this order block. And I even put in the group on the key levels page that I would be watching this area right here, right? So because my drawn liquidity is bullish, price has been super bullish like this. These are decisive bullish candles. There's no need to be selling in these conditions. Like I've even tried to take some counter trend sales and it was just like a struggle. So your best bet, your highest probability trades are going to be bullish in these scenarios. So when I'm looking at this right here, I'm looking at this old daily fair value gap from right here from September, right? We finally get up over this swing high, buy side liquidity, into this daily fair value gap. Look how once we got into it, we ran through it with speed and we closed above. That's a signature in price telling you that price is not about to reverse down here. Like it's not about to do all this. It's about to keep going up. It's just going to pull back a little bit and keep going up. Look at what happens on the next daily candle. This is on Monday. I don't trade Mondays usually because they don't have red folder news. So skip Monday and watch what it does. It gives me the perfect confirmation that we're going to be going up because look what it did. It went down, immediate rebalance this candle right here, the top of this candle, tapped it, and then look how it closed. See, the wicks do the damage and the bodies tell the story. So look how it closed above the old fair value gap. That's another confirmation that we going up. So this didn't even really give a pullback. This bullish daily candle was CPI today, right? You see, this is my idea I had marked the day before, just like come down, go up, come down, go up. So let me just move this real quick. All right, so let's talk about how I was able to enter this trade. So this is the 4 hour, and this is what I was looking at. I was looking at this swing low. I was like, okay, if price want to go lower, then overall price is still bullish. So if it's going lower just to get in a position for more buy orders to get in. So I'm like, where is that? Right here under this swing into this breakaway gap, right? Breakaway gap over the swing high right there. So I'm like, if price want to come down, it may come down, sweep these lows, tap into this gap, tap into this bullish breaker, high, low, lower low, high, high, bullish breaker. So I was like, okay, price may want to come down here and then go up, but it didn't even do that. That showed me that price was super bullish. So let's just go to the 1 hour. This was CPI right here. This bullish candle was CPI. So let me throw on the indicator, the ICT everything indicator, to show you in terms of like power of 3 and the daily candle, like to show you in terms of what I was thinking. So this is obviously London low and this is London's high right here, because this green section is London, 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. That's the low, that's the high. So that's usually what I'm working with in terms of my trade for New York session. I want to see what happened in London, where's the low and the high, which has been manipulated already, which hasn't, which is in line with the higher time frame. These are all questions that I'm asking myself when I'm coming to the charts for the New York session. So this big ass CPI candle, right? At first, it was like, it's not FOMO for me anymore, but like that feeling of FOMO of price going to my daily targets, my higher time frame drawing liquidity I've been calling all week without me, because I'm not entering a trade at CPI 830. So this is what I was looking at originally, this high right here, this swing high, daily swing high, a bit of a volume imbalance right here too. And then I was looking at that. So those are the two green lines that you're seeing in terms of when we look at on the lower time frame. So let's go, we're on 15-minute here. So yeah, these are those daily highs right here, this line and this line. So price ran up past this one with the CPI news at 8:30, right? But it didn't go to this one. So I figured that it wanted to go to this one, right? Plus it's around the halfway point of the daily fair value gap, which is consequent encroachment, right? Closing above it. So I'm like, okay, I think price still want to go up more. And the fact that it made this big ass push and it didn't start market structure shifting down here at the open showed me that we was still very bullish. So what I was waiting on, I was waiting to see what the open was going to do, right? So let's talk about the open. The open, where's it at? 9:30. This candle right here. Let's actually go to a 1 minute so we can really see what's popping. So at the open, we had all this right here. All this right here, price like running out of momentum, creating liquidity on the sell side and the buy side, right? So I'm just waiting to see, because like I said, like I told the team in Discord this morning, I'm not looking to take no counter trend trade. I'm not even in the mood for that. I'm getting in line with the trend. You know, a lot going on in the world. The market is a little choppy. 8:30 CPI push. If it was 10 a.m. news, this is a pro tip. If it was 10 a.m. news, right? Because today we just had 8:30 news. Usually when we have 8:30 a.m. news that shoot up like this, the 10 a.m. news will usually correct it. But because we didn't have that 10 a.m. news, I was like, I'm not really anticipating this whole move to get corrected, right? Because that's the manipulation that wasn't there today, like the correction of this move. So I was looking to see at 9:30, is price going to sweep lows or highs first? Because whichever one is sweeping first is probably going to be the Judas swing. So this is a 9:30 candle right here. I'm looking at all these lows right here. Swing low, swing low, swing low. This is an intermediate swing low. So I'm looking to see if that gets clapped. Really, I was looking to see if it's going to come all the way down here, right? That would have been some super manipulation if it came down here and then went up. But it swept these lows. Let me just mark it so y'all see it. It swept these lows right here. And then it started market structure shifting up. That's your 2022 model, all on one time frame. Like I said, higher time frame analysis was still showing me bulls. So look at this. It sweeps this low, right? And then it starts closing up above right here. It starts closing bullish. It left me a fair value gap between this candle high, this candle low, this yellow line. And at that point, I called it out to the squad in the Discord and got in the trade. got into trade a little late because I had to call the signal first. I would have liked to get in on this candle right here. See price go up over this swing high, and it was still suspect because it was close to the open. It was like what time is it? 9:37. So it was still a little suspect, especially because this candle was not closing over this swing high. But you know, when you got that higher time frame drawing liquidity and you're within the trend and you're seeing these signatures in price, you can just execute with good risk management, safe stop loss that invalidates your trade idea, and then you're good. So I got in right there, and then price just kind of gave bullish order flow all the way to that daily drawing liquidity, which was the high of that daily candle. And then you can see I entered there, exit here. I took off most of my position here. I left one contract on for a runner, and I wanted it to hold right here. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to hold right here and just keep going, but it didn't. It is what it is. So it came down to this PD array, and I could have held it, right? But because my entry wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, this pullback took away a lot of my profit off my runner. So yeah, I just closed it out once it started like closing below this, because I thought it was just gonna tank. I knew it was a chance it could still go up, because you gotta think about the PD arrays that got disrespected. It's only one fair value gap here that held, right? But like, so that held, and then this is really like a fair value gap. That's the second PD array. The third PD array would have been this one, this swing, but I wasn't about to take that much drawdown on my runner, so I closed it. And then price started doing this like Nas do, and I'm seeing this inversion fair value gap, and it's closing above it. So it came back, retested it right there, and that's when I entered again, because it was at a macro time. Let me zoom in so y'all can see it right here. Inversion fair value gap right here, closed above it, came back, wicked it. I'm in the trade right there. It's 952. And then from there, price did this, like it took this liquidity right here, and then it started to pull back. So at this point, I'm looking to see, I'm like, okay, what do we got? We got the inversion fair value gap. It failed to hold on that, went below it. I'm like, okay. Then it come up, retest it, and then that's a second sign. It came up, retested, and dropped. I'm like, this definitely finna lose. And then I started looking at this wick. I'm like, okay, but it's holding right there on a halfway point. It keep going down and closing above it. So this is like, I was locked in. So I stayed in the trade. And then once I got this bullish close right here, I was like, oh yeah, we good. And then this definitely confirmed that we good, because it went down and got rejected. Got smacked right back up, closed high. And then this candle right here, you already know the vibes, went straight up. And then it came back and retested what? Consequent encroachment of this wick, this high. Look at this, bro. This not by accident. Tap that, closed above it, closed. This was just beautiful right here. And exited right here, took off 95% of the trade, had one runner on, and then it did this. It came back. See, I entered here. It came back too close to break even for my liking on that runner. So I was like, let me just take the profit on it while it's still a little profit. But yeah, this was an ugly repricing, but look where it repriced to. It repriced right here. It's 1006, right? Look at this fair value gap that it reprices into in these down close candles, right? So this was another opportunity for a buy. It's still within macro. Some of y'all took that. And then you had to sit in a little bit of chop, right? But it went down, depending on where your stop loss would have been. If you would put your stop loss on this swing low, you would have been good. But it went down, turtle souped all these lows right here, and then it went up, right? Broke this high, left a little fair value gap right here. Here's another entry, a silver bullet entry to get to this high up here. Right there in that fair value gap. Let me just mark it up real quick. Right there in this fair value gap. Boom. I was out already, but like this was a decent opportunity right here too. Some people took this in the group. It's a good trade. But yeah, that's all I got for the trade that I took today. I was just locked in with this one, I ain't gonna lie. This was a pretty solid trade, just getting within the flow of the market. The trend is your friend. Remember that. If you want to swim against the tide, just know you can't be in the waters all day or you're going to drown. That's it. Yeah, I'll see y'all in the group.